Captain Midnight.
This video is brought to you by Skillshare. The more you think about it, the more the Mission Impossible franchise feels completely out of place in 2018. In the modern movie landscape of interconnected universes, spin-off movies, and reboots, there's almost something refreshing about how straightforward the franchise is. Not really drawing on your nostalgia or love of an old iconic character. I mean, yeah, it is based on an old TV show, but I bet most people seeing the movies don't really know that show exists, let alone have fond memories of it. It's a lot more like the franchise of the late 80s and 90s, completely and totally star-driven. And as Tom Cruise's career changed, so did the franchise. After the over-the-top insanity of the second movie, J.J. Abrams' third film attempted to turn Cruise's Ethan Hunt into something resembling an actual character. He was settling into being a normal guy with a wife, a house, and some friends, and people seemed to reject it en masse, leading to the lowest grossing film of the whole franchise. I think audiences just didn't think of Tom Cruise as the likable lead of Jerry Maguire anymore. Now he was this weirdly intense dude who, jumped around on Oprah's couch. So starting with Ghost Protocol, the franchise started down a new path by leaning into that strange intensity and transforming Ethan Hunt into a guy with one driving characteristic above all: the ability to look at absolutely any crazy situation, shrug, and say, "I'll figure something out." It's very simple, but it continues to pay off, which brings us to the most recent entry in the franchise, Mission Impossible Fallout. For the first 15 minutes or so, I have to say I was a little worried. The Mission Impossible franchise has never exactly been great with exposition and dialogue, which this movie was absolutely front-loaded with. But then we get into some of the best pure action filmmaking around, and things immediately got better.
As always, should you or any member of your IM force be caught or killed, the Secretary will disavow any knowledge of your actions.
Tom Cruise, as the marketing for his movies will never let you forget, does a lot of his own stunts. In this movie, he even broke an ankle in a take that apparently ended up in the final film. But to give all the credit to Cruise for why the action scenes are as good as they are wouldn't really be the whole truth. Brad Bird, the director of Ghost Protocol and animated greats like Iron Giant and The Incredibles, and Chris McCary, director of Rogue Nation and Fallout, who also helmed one of the best sci-fi movies of the decade, Edge of Tomorrow, are both known for being absolute perfectionists when it comes to staging action scenes. Together, they've been able to do for stunts what The Raid and John Wick did for modern fight choreography. Anyone who watches my channel knows that I have a real soft spot for the MCU, and I think it's pulled off some very fun action scenes in the past. But there's a big difference in the action set pieces in those movies and, say, the climactic helicopter chase at the end of Mission Impossible Fallout. Now, I have nothing against CG, and I don't think everything has to be practical to be good filmmaking, but there's definitely still a thrill in seeing stunts where everything on screen feels real and visceral in a way that CG has a very hard time recreating. I think because of this, I see a lot of people compare the stunts in Fallout to 80s action movies like Die Hard or Terminator. But honestly, I think a lot of the inspiration comes from a much older source. One of the earliest and best comedic actors in movie history, Buster Keaton. It's funny, I was already planning on touching on the connection between Buster Keaton and Mission Impossible, but as I was writing this video, the director of Fallout actually confirmed it on Twitter, calling Buster Keaton the patron saint of Mission Impossible. And it's easy to see why. Unlike most action scenes in old Stallone or Schwarzenegger vehicles, Mission Impossible thrives on the sense that Ethan Hunt just has to make up everything as he goes along. Things almost never go as planned. This is something that Buster Keaton absolutely perfected, and that stars like Jackie Chan have embraced as well. That constantly escalating danger that Keaton used in his stunts for laughs, Mission Impossible uses for tension. I think this works especially well in Fallout, in large part because of Tom Cruise. There's no denying that at 56, the actor is finally starting to show his age a bit, and I think that really works in Mission Impossible's favor. Instead of the cocky hotshot that Ethan Hunt was in the first two movies, we're given a guy that's clearly been doing this a while and is getting up there a little bit. The movie even underlines this by bringing on the younger and much more imposing Henry Cavill as Hunt's CIA rival. And one of the best changes that this movie makes, I think, is having the IMF feel more like scrappy underdogs, just trying to get the mission done by the skin of their teeth, instead of the all-powerful badasses that they were in some of the earlier movies. The fact that Henry Cavill looks like he could absolutely destroy Cruise and basically towers over him makes Hunt, who, let's be honest, has never had much of a personality, a lot more likable. You really want to see him pull off all these stunts because for the first time, they don't look very easy for him. Most of the biggest movie franchises around now are about people with extraordinary abilities, like the Force or superpowers, so no one in those movies are usually shocked by characters like Thor doing something incredible. Even in the Fast and Furious films, whose characters are supposed to be just regular human beings, it's not usually commented on just how crazy their situations are. Mission Impossible, on the other hand, does a great job of making those situations feel, well, impossible. Usually having multiple characters, and especially Simon Pegg, take note of just how crazy whatever they're doing is. And that may seem unimportant, but I really think it helps ground the movies in a way. And it lets us know that, yeah, even in the world of Mission Impossible, this whole helicopter chase thing is pretty crazy.
You and your IMF team must use stealth and an agile mind as your primary tools.
I'm not really sure how many Mission Impossible movies Tom Cruise has left in him, and by the time the next one comes out, he'll probably be around 60 years old, but I'll always be happy to have them in theaters. The films don't have much in common with the old TV series it's based on, beyond the basic premise of watching a team of spies come up with a plan and then have to improvise when that plan goes inevitably wrong. But that premise continues to work wonders for the franchise, with its stripped-down simplicity working even better in the most recent films. Mission Impossible Fallout may not be a genius piece of storytelling, but those action set pieces create thrills that most other, more expensive blockbusters just can't replicate. Mission Impossible Fallout is nothing if not a tribute to the fundamentals of great direction. And if you're watching this, that's probably something you have a good amount of interest in, which is why I want to recommend Indie Filmmaking Get the Blockbuster Look on a DIY Budget, which is taught by the guy who made that great Akira Project fan film a few years ago. It's a really great course for anyone looking to get the absolute most production value out of whatever project they're working on, whether that be an indie movie, short, or even a YouTube video. Basically, if you want to shoot something that looks great on a tiny budget, this is definitely for you. And beyond that, Skillshare has over 20,000 classes in filmmaking, business, writing, and a ton more. Premium membership gives you unlimited access to high-quality classes on must-know topics, so you can improve your skills, unlock new opportunities, and do the work you love. So seriously, if you're looking to learn just about anything, chances are you can find a class for it on Skillshare. Join the millions of students already learning on Skillshare today with a special offer just for my viewers. You can get 2 months of Skillshare for free by signing up at skl.sh/CaptainMidnight4. So take a chance on learning something new and go to skl.sh/CaptainMidnight4.
Here's a special tip for the fellas and girls who have not already joined Captain Midnight's new 1940 Flight Patrol. You'd better hurry up and join at once because there's a big adventure ahead. The thing to do now is to get started because we're going to have not only barrels of fun, but loads of free gifts and prizes.